Hi, guys. So, for the first 18 years of my life, the first thing I heard in the morning was the sound of my father doing his daily ritual throat singing, and the sound of my mother making tea and shuffling around in her slippers. And then that would be followed by my father beating himself with a bundle of chopsticks, which is part of his daily ritual to make himself bulletproof. If this sounds sort of strange, I live in a Tai Chi loft. The first half of our apartment is a Tai Chi studio. The second half has a bed and a kitchen and me. So it was sort of interesting. It's this mix of home and business and always Tai Chi. And every day about 50 strangers come into our house, and they'll be sitting at our kitchen table having tea while I'm walking around trying to eat breakfast, find my contacts, brush my hair, get to school on time. And for that reason, a lot of sort of strange occurrences have happened. And one morning, I think I was, 10, however old you are in 6th grade, I was really just starting to learn about my body and puberty and kind of how awkward I felt. And I walk into my kitchen in, my underwear. I'm kind of walking around, not expecting to see anyone. It's Saturday morning, and sitting at my kitchen table is Philip Glass with my dad. And preface, Philip Glass has been studying with my dad since, I was 3. So it wasn't that weird that I was in my underwear. And he goes, "Oh, we were just looking for you." And I'm like, "Me? Why? Ugh, don't look at me." But he wanted me to perform in this experimental dance piece where I would wear a tight white unitard and rabbit ears and pretend to be the rabbit in the moon. And so I said, "Okay, sure, I don't really like people looking at me, but I'll do it." And so it was called the Taoist Bear Walks. And for the piece, I had to just hop across the stage once, just once. It took maybe a total of 15 seconds. But, I was in 6th grade, I was extremely uncomfortable, I didn't tell any of my friends about it, but of course, my mother emailed all of my friends about it. And my dance teacher and my English teacher, and they all came, that was great. And the night of the show, I was standing backstage with all of the other professional, glamorous, wonderful dancers, and they all looked so great. And I'm standing there in my unitard, being like, "Oh, I have hips, and what's going on? I don't like to look at my body." And I get a nosebleed, and it gets everywhere. And they're all trying to give me tips. One of the dancers takes a piece of gauze from their foot and goes, "Stick this in your nose." And I did, because I didn't know what to do. My parents were in the audience, and I was like, "Oh, it's Philip Glass, this is a big deal." And I did it, I mopped myself up. I probably looked a little pink more than red, but it worked out. I hopped across the stage, I got flowers. It was filmed, unfortunately. And it was probably one of the more embarrassing things. And I guess in this story about change, what I'm trying to say is that even though the way that I tried out all these weird things growing up was because it was sitting at my kitchen table, someone asking me to try out something new. Since then, I've tried a lot of very strange things and have gone into theater and visual arts and done a lot of pieces that sort of push the boundary. And I'll really never be as nervous as I was when I was covered in blood in a see-through unitard as a 6th grader. So that's something. And for that, if home really shapes who you are, my home was learning to be an exhibitionist. So that is mostly my story.